Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to meet the string family. We're going to go over some vocabulary. They're not in order, so we're going to mix and match them and make sure that we understand and know which each instrument makes what sound. So let's get started here. All right, so the vocabulary, terms, and definitions of the string family. So the cello, do we think it's a large instrument or a small instrument? So it turns out that it is a large instrument. It's a large string instrument. Seated player holds it upright while playing. Next is the double bass. It's a stand-up bass. That is the largest instrument of the bass of the violin kind. Okay, let's look at number 3, the violin. It's the smallest member of the string family. The harp is an instrument with 47 strings, and it makes angelic sounds. A glissando is not an instrument, but it is a rapid series of ascending or descending notes on the musical scale. The viola it looks like a violin, but it's an instrument in form and use resembling the violin, but larger and a fifth lower in compass. And then we have jazz. Why do you think we have jazz in here? It's a type of music which features improvisation and uses string instruments like the guitar. And then there's the bow. The bow is a very important part of the string family. It's a slightly curved piece of resilient wood with taut horsehair strands used in playing certain stringed instruments. So that's our vocabulary, terms, and definitions. Like I said, A and B are not connected, so you have to look for them yourself. Let's move on. The string family, the instruments in the string family include the violin, viola, cello, and double bass. The string family is the largest family in the orchestra. So if you look at the chart and you look for the strings, you'll see that in the front, the violas, the violoncellos, that's the long form of saying cellos. The second violins and the first violins make up the majority of the orchestra. The first of our stringed instruments is the violin, and I'm going to let you hear what the violin sounds like. You will hear each instrument separately, then you will hear them play together in an orchestra. So let's start with the violin. The violin is a little bit higher. It's higher pitched. The violin, like the other members of the string family, has 4 strings, and sound can be made drawing a bow across the strings. So let's go on to the next instrument. Oh, sorry, it's not an instrument, it's a bow. The bow is a stick with horsehair stretched from end to end. When sticky rosin is rubbed onto the horsehair, the bow catches on the strings of the instruments, making them vibrate. So we do need the bow. The viola. The viola looks just like the violin. Let's listen to it. Here's the viola. Let's try that again. Here is the viola. The viola is a little larger and plays notes that are a little lower than the violin that we just heard. So you'll notice that it's a little bit lower. All right, let's move on. Our next one is the cello. So let's hear what the cello sounds like. The cello is so big that you must rest it on the floor to play it. It has a rich, mellow voice. I love the sound of the cello. String instruments produce sound from one or more vibrating strings. For many string instruments, a bow is used to start the string vibrating. The sound waves enter the body of the instrument where the sound is amplified. It's made stronger. In the orchestra, string instruments are played in two ways: plucking, pizzicato, or bowing, arco. Which one of these string instruments do you think is played using only pizzicato? So let's move on. This is the double bass. Ooh, so the cello we just heard is a pretty mellow and low sound. The double bass is a little bit lower, so let's start playing that one. You'll remember this tune from Carnival of the Animals. If you can remember the animal, I'd love for you to text it to me and let me know, because I want to see if you remember. We did study Carnival of the Animals a lot last year, so you should know this one. So let's get back to the double bass. It is so tall that you must stand up or sit on a high stool to play it. It is often taller than the person who plays it. Okay. The harp. The harp is also a stringed instrument, but it is not always found in the orchestra. The strings of the harp are strummed and make a beautiful sound. You can also do pizzicato on the harp. So, as we heard, the string instruments of the orchestra, they're the violin, the viola, the cello, the double bass, also called the stand-up bass, and the harp. So you have learned all of the string instruments for the orchestra, and I would very much like you to watch the video underneath this lesson from PJ, the instrument investigator. I love showing this video because, one, it's fun, funny and cute, but it also shows you the variety of string instruments that you're about to learn. So enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.